is we start topic about our topic, let's say today, which is fresh air, sunlight, which we don't.
I guess don't need to worry about it. Don't need tomorrow. I'm all good.
Okay.
Chef the little manager taking
If
better.
I got two handouts here. The one that you got to me when I got last year. So the one that you have has a whole lot more than mine for last year. But he added quite a few things. So let's look at what he added to our handbook here. So fresh air. Answer quick. How long? Did you know how long you can go without taking a breath? Everybody's taking.
In the stuff. It's a kid in our hip.
Yeah, that's exactly. How long can you go without breathing?
I over time myself for a minute and a half. CCLI. But people that do that dieting can do sometimes 47 minutes bursts.
You really have to work at it.
They do. You get it's
We're not meant to stop breathing. That's no what we were made for. And usually when I think about breathing, I think about prayer. Right? Because prayer is what we're told. Right? The soul, what gives us a connection. And together, we already talked about breathing. That was the very first beats that we had where he encouraged us to make sure that you breathe properly. Breathing, because sometimes we just breathe shallow and superficially. We're not breathing like we should. So this fresh air goes really hand in hand with it, because you can be breathing polluted air, and that's no good for you. So we need to think about the kind of air we are breathing. So fresh air and proper breathing are critical to our health. Both indoor and outdoor air pollution are associated with cancer and heart disease and many other diseases. Let's talk about a little bit about pollution. We know that the perhaps the worst one is smoke. Smoke. Can you door for us?
Factor.
The appointment?
Yeah.
Bucket. So pollution like tobacco smoke is perhaps the worst one. And we know that one is really bad for you. That one, people come down with cancer and everything. So even secondhand smoking it has been shown to cause lung cancer. So that's perhaps the primary pollutant in the air. Now, there's a lot of pollution, indoor and outdoor, like he said in here. And we don't usually think about it. For example, formaldehyde is one of those chemicals that we don't think of, and is very common to find it in construction material, like wood. So if you had a brand new house, so you may have some products that are releasing some chemicals that are not so good for you. And then new buildings, for example, they are so tight to improve on the cost that circulation or ventilation may be not as good. So now,
Also, radon.
radon in some areas is another pollution that you need to be aware of. So yeah, I was thinking of new houses, super tight, new products that might have been treated. All houses, you may have radon, you may have, let me see, I wrote a list of things in here. Lead, asbestos, you can have mold or fungi, and then you also have to think about dust, air mites, pesticides, ozone, are some other things that also to think of that could be part of the pollutant. So if you have a house or a place that is you keep it really tight, close windows so you can keep the heat so it doesn't get cold in there. You also run the problem of having breathing the same air over and over. is you breathe in, breathe out, rebreathe the same air. So the oxygen in the room goes down, carbon dioxide and nitrogen waste product go up, and he starts feeling kind of sleepy, sluggish, and you just don't function as well. Might get you in headaches from areas that are so tight like that. So one of the best things that we can do to feel good, nice technique, it's a secret. Tell you what. Go outside, take a deep breath of fresh air. Makes you feel good. It revives you. It's good for us, for our health. So, yeah. Other chemicals, fumes that we may not even think about. Carpets, for example. Release chemicals, new carpets, photocopy or copier machine, upholstery, cleaning supplies. What we use to clean our homes, make it smell good. Even air fresheners. We should use those not so much. And dry cleaning. The clothes that have been dry cleaned also have chemicals that can be on clothes. So stale air decreases mental acuity and is more likely to carry diseases. So suggestions. So he has, mine only has simple suggestions. Yours has simple suggestions and more complicated suggestions. So simple suggestion says, breathe deeply of fresh air, leave a window open for circulation, have indoor plants. So air your house. How do you air your house? Anyone does that? Like, yeah. What do you do to air your house? Open the window. Yes. For how long? When? At what time? What do you do? How do you do it?
All night.
All night. Yes. Yes.
We keep the window open in bedroom.
I was telling my wife this morning, he's like, yeah, it's good to keep the window open in our bed. And I said, like, yeah, I'll tell you, I haven't come and shut the window. I'm small.
Dick, put another blanket on.
Well, it's usually in the daytime that I shut the window up because I'm working. I'm so near to the bedroom, my office. So I close the door, I close the window, but it's like at nighttime, it's like good. So something I read about smog, if somebody lived like in an area that has a lot of smog, and it made so much sense, they recommend that for smog, wait until sundown to open your window or early morning to air your house. Because when the sun goes down, then the small particles will fall down too. They will be much lower. Oh, that makes sense. You know, what happens when there is heat? Heat moves air particles. You know, hot air goes up, cool air goes down, you know. So as the sun heats up the air, these more particles just start moving all around. So wait until it's sundown and it's cooled and open your windows and air it. So yeah, that's a good one. Have indoor plants. Recommendation is one plant for every 100 square feet. So one plant for every 100 square feet. So how many plants do you have in your home? Living plant, not fake plants. Yes. They got flowers, yeah, because, you know, they're so good. They provide you with oxygen. They take in the carbon dioxide that you breathe. Yes.
Heard that spider plants are especially good for cleaning the air.
Spider plants. Don't know, but I did last year as we were talking about this. I did a Google search for plants, indoor plants that can clean the fur. Yeah. So there are special plants that are good for us cleaning the air. So I'm like, oh, I didn't even know. I just assumed plants are plants. You know, every plant is. There we go. But actually, there are plants that can clean your air. They're special. But another thing that I read about it is that those that are really good in cleaning your air, they're usually poisonous. So don't say pets or kids. They're no good to eat. They're good to clean, but not good to eat. So yeah, just be aware of that. So those are some things, natural things that we can do. And then the more complicated suggestion that he added to this handout is install an ERV with filter in your home. So air filters have become very popular since COVID, right? So now they have it in offices and doctors' offices and larger buildings because we want to filter the air and make it more livable or healthier for us to breathe.
What's ERB?
ERB, yeah. I'm not sure what is an ERB. filter. I'm assuming that that's something you will attach to your ventilation.
Or your hobby, so. And I think that by some recirculation, you this. That's my guess. I never. Right.
Let me see. Well,
Sorry, circulation. I know we can do you now.
yeah, we'll have to do a Google search. Tell me why is an ERB filter and how does that work?
Recent years. Found it. At G Recovery Vapors. Tadic sleeped.
Now, have you heard that the fresh air can be positively or negatively charged? So which one is a good one? Yeah, I was telling my wife that there's one negative thing that is good for us here. Negatively charged air is the fresh air. Usually you have that positively charged air when there is lots of pollution and cities and things like that.
Become negative. Anything negative wants to be positive, right? So if it's negatively charged, it's gonna try to
Take
things out. It's why
connect to the positive. Negative attracts positive. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And so where do you find this negative air? Obviously is
In the bit forest.
nature, forest. Close to water, right? First water, oceans, after that, and after it's a thunder. Yes. So that is you go outside for a walk after a thunderstorm, it's not so good, it does. It's fresh air, yes. All right. Our next topic then is sunlight. Let's talk about sunlight. Sunlight can be good or heal. It can also be destructive. It can damage. So sunlight needs to be dealt with carefully. Let's see some of the things that Pastor Hess recommends here. Sunlight is important for many functions of our body, including regulating circadian rhythm, and we talked about that. Do you remember what is circadian rhythm? Is that in terms of clock? What is that? If you don't expose yourself to sunlight, you can throw your clock off. In fact, I was reading about it a few days back before Pastor Hess asked me to do this. I was reading about sunlight for some reason, and I learned that if you want to sleep at night, you have to be careful about the amount of light. We have so much light pollution at night that we rob ourselves of good sleep due to light pollution at night. Light pollution, I haven't heard of that, but that's interesting. And even minimal, everybody's different. And for some people, even the little amount of light could disturb their sleep and throw off their melatonin production, and then they don't get a good night's sleep. So, depends where you are, depends how much light affects you. I don't know, it bothers me every time I get up in the middle of the night, I have to turn the bathroom light on, it just wakes me up. And I was thinking, we used to have a kids light, and when that would be helpful, but
I know, just kids like older
people do the mad lights. They're right in the night lights that you could put. But even those night lights can be disrupted for some people. So you gotta know yourself. Yes. So that will include regulating the circadian rhythm. So getting sunlight in daytime will help you at nighttime. And melatonin production, serotonin production, and vitamin D production. Sunlight also kills germs. You summarize everything about photosynthesis.
I have some friends in California, they're old nurses.
Yes.
They get up so that they go for their walk so that they're facing the rising sun in the very first sun to regulate their circadian.
I heard people recommending that because I spend 10 minutes facing the sun. No looking at the sun because, early in the morning when the sun is rising is not so bad, but when the sun is up, don't be looking at the sun because that could hurt your eyes. But that will great.
Glasses are also fun.
Yes. All right. Other things Pastor S has mentioned is like if you haven't been able, if you start work before the sun comes up, and you realize, well, it's sunny outside, you just take it like smokers take smoke breaks. We'll take a sun break, a sunlight break. I need a break. I need to go outside and get 5 minutes exposure to the sun. So we could do healthy things.
See that?
What's that?
Those lamps, if there's anything else like winter.
Yeah. So there is, I think he mentions that, yes, there is at the last point. Well, almost to the last. Let's read those notes. He says, get at least 20 minutes of direct sunlight. Good. Well, be careful with if your skin is very white. Red area individuals will get hurt really fast. And sometimes it just can handle like 5 minutes direct sun exposure. And you might have to start slow, and let your skin adjust to the amount of sun that you will see. Because what you don't want to do is burn yourself. So sun is good. Like he mentioned, to kill germs. In fact, it's good for your skin. He says, I wrote down here a few things. It helps keep your skin healthy and glowing, and makes it smooth and pliable. It elevates your mood, your sense of well-being. It's good for treating depression, and because of the vitamin D that our bodies can produce because of the exposure to sun, it's good for your bones and teeth, for your immune system and mood regulation. On the other hand, sunburn increases your risk for cancer, skin cancer, and does the opposite to the skin. It prematurely ages your skin and increases wrinkles, including deep tanning. As opposed just to sunburn, deep tanning will do the same thing. It will destroy the living tissues, and it gradually destroys its elasticity and the oil blast that we have. So that's why we don't want to get into sunburn. So avoid sunburn, avoid chemical sunscreen that are associated with increased cancer risk. Now, that's not to say that you cannot use sunscreen. It's just that you need to do your homework about the chemicals that they're using in it. Anyways, anything that is known to cause cancer, just stay away from it. If unable to have bright light, like Sonia was mentioning, I suppose early morning, consider using a therapy light, at least 10,000 lux, preferably full spectrum light. And upon arising in the morning, have the light shining on your face with 10 to 20 minutes. All right. So some of the things that you can do is encouraged. You need to spend a little time outside. Well, you can combine it with exercising and activity. So we know we need to be active. You can go for a walk. What is nice outside? Or, anyway, there's sun is on. That's what I'm going to say. Now, I did read that now here in winter, that just 20 minutes of exposure of your face and your hands will provide you with all the vitamin D that you need for that day. So 20 minutes of exposure. So it's not like because it's winter you wear all this heavy coat to keep yourself warm, you're not going to need enough. Well, your face and your hands are exposed a little bit, you will be okay for that. Wear protective clothing, eyeglasses, sunglasses. I wear protective sunscreen if needed. Be specifically careful around snow, fire, and cloudy days. It's cloudy, huh? Okay. Next thing you know, you're burned. Yeah, it's still out there. Yeah. And the water and the snow reflect this sort of the light. You can get sunburned way faster. Yes, so interesting enough that you put both of these things together because sun and fresh air kill bacteria. So freshen up your homes, open the window, let the sun shine. Oh my goodness. I have a fight with my kids and all that. We like to keep the curtains closed. I open the curtains, let the road be lit up, and let the sun come in because it kills the germs. So it's good. It's good to let that sun come in. I don't see it written anywhere on my notes, but I know that they don't recommend that you stand in front of a window to receive that sunlight because it does all the ways to go through. So you're missing out on the sun, but that's the only way you can do it. That's the only way, right? Because even when it's winter, you go out there with a heavy coat, you still covering most of your skin. So whatever you can do a little bit at a time will be helpful.
And also just having light helps with the mood, it helps to lower the risks of depression or things like that. Having brights.
They are. So I'm not sure. Well, I know someone that used to have an apartment and they had big trees all around. And even in the winter, it wasn't very lit in the apartment. It just fell down all the time. I can't understand why. And he's like, well, your apartment doesn't get much sunlight. And they recommended one of those sunlight, which is switched, right? Put some light in it. Wow, a difference. It does. It does make a big difference. Now, vitamin D is so important for our mood, regulating it, for the immune system to stay healthy, to be able to fight the infections, and for the bones health, teeth too. Any other comments? Should we give? That's why it is recommended, right? 20 minutes a day.